Hello and welcome to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE here. We have the go-home shows heading into the final pay-per-views of 2021 here in the forms of NXT Takeover WarGames and the Raw and Smackdown co-branded Armageddon. And it goes without saying at this point, but we are kicking off things here with another episode of Monday Night Raw, and we start things with a very pissed off Undisputed Era storming into Drake Maverick's office. They're not happy. They're not happy about the announcement last week. They don't want to fight in War Games. They know it. They say, War Games, Undisputed Era. We see why you'd think that. I mean, we're the War Games masters at this point, but why? What have those four done to deserve a match in the main event with the Undisputed Era, with the WWE Champion Adam Cole, baby? They demand Drake Maverick change it. Drake Maverick had enough. He says he is the general manager. He makes the decisions around here. And so at Armageddon, it will be a War Games match. The UE versus Owens, Ford, Zayn, and Bryan. And that's that for 79. Undisputed Era not happy, leaving the room. Maverick telling Cole to wait and informing him that he will be fighting in the main event tonight in the War Games Advantage ladder match. Adam Cole not happy. And asking Maverick who he's going to be fighting. And Maverick says, wait and see. For 77 here. UE very much not happy about this War Games scenario they've been put in. But Maverick making that decision, asserting his authority here, as well as Adam Cole being placed in that War Games Advantage ladder match later tonight. 77 for this segment. Good little segment before we have a promo video for Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss. It shows Alexa Bliss training, working hard. She says that she's given this everything she's got. Everything in her life right now is all around getting ready for this match, this Women's Raw title match, her opportunity to win gold again. She says that until Armageddon, she won't stop. She won't stop training, researching, or preparing, because when Armageddon comes, she will leave Women's World Champion. And then it cuts to Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, a lot more laxed about it, Shows her eating at fancy restaurants, wearing expensive dresses and jewellery, going out for drinks. And Banks says that, I'm Blueprint the best, the boss. Okay? Let's talk about training and all that like it matters. When you have this God-given ability and talent that I do, you don't need that. You just need to show up. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show up at Armageddon. I'll run the ropes a few times beforehand, sure, but I'll just wait. I'll wait till that bell rings, and I'll beat Alexa, like I always do. And I'll keep this Women's World Championship where it belongs, around the boss's waist. For an 89. Very good promo from these two. Hopefully a very good match come Armageddon. Before speaking of matches Armageddon, next up we have a fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match for the hardcore title. It is Raw Tag Team Champion Drew McIntyre and his partner Sheamus taking on Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne in a fatal 4-way rules. Every man for himself. You'd think there'd be some teaming up at points, but still every man for himself in this match. All 4 men going at a brutal encounter. All of them want that shot at Tommaso Ciampa. They've all been feuding for a while now, but they all want Ciampa. They all want a hardcore title opportunity. The match going on, and as it comes close to its end, Riddle and Sheamus going at it in the ring. When out of nowhere, Tommaso Ciampa storms into the ring with a steel chair and takes out Riddle, and he takes out Sheamus. McIntyre gets in the ring, and Ciampa takes him out as well. Pete Dunne has a go, but Ciampa takes him out once more. Ciampa taking out all 4 of them. This match ending in this weird sports entertainment finish WWE do. I don't want to do that for a fatal 4-way, but it's what I have to do to get where I want to go. For an 80 here, 87 Riddle, 79 McIntyre, 78 Dunne, 67 Sheamus. Very good from everyone here. Before Ciampa goes out and gets on the mic and says he wants all 4 of them. He says he wants to beat all 4 of their asses. And says at Armageddon, for this hardcore title, it'll be a fatal 5-way match. A huge announcement from Riddle. Fatal 5-way rules. Ciampa, McIntyre, Riddle, Dunne, Sheamus. 5 brutal competitors all going at it for the hardcore title. Should be an amazing match, I hope, at Armageddon. Surely there will be Armageddon when these 5 go at it. 87 for that. Really happy with these segments. Doing well. Before we go have Carmella and the Iconics in the ring, and they taunt Zoe Starks. Carmella saying she has no friends. Little Alexa all busy training for a match. You're all alone. Zoe coming out saying she is not. As the Sky Pirates come out, Zoe saying she has backup. The Sky Pirates joining her for a 69. Gonna have a 6-man tag team here. Carmella and the Iconics taking on Zoe Stark and the Sky Pirates. And Stark and the Sky Pirates pick up the win here. Io Shirai pinning Peyton Royce following that beautiful moonsault of hers for a 75. 74 Shirai, 71 Sane, 60 Stark, 57 Carmella, 50 Royce, 47k. Everyone doing well here. Really happy with this as Stark and the Sky Pirates pick up the win. Io Shirai getting the pinfall and Zoe Stark getting another victory over Carmella. We then go backstage and we show Miz not happy following his loss to Kofi, Xavier Woods on SmackDown. And he bumps into Fairchild, smiling smugly, and says that, "Oh, Miz, I saw your match. I heard about it. I didn't watch it. It's far too many better things to do. But I heard you lost. Oh, how disappointing. So close, yet so far, little Mike." Oh, well, I'd love to stay and chat, but I must be getting on. I have so many important things to do, but I'll see you around. For a 79, this weird thing going on between The Miz and Fairchild, where they're just kind of trying to one-up each other, continues on evermore. As next up, we have Angelo Dawkins taking on Aleister Black. Last week, Aleister Black returning, going for the Black Mass on Lashley, but hitting Dawkins instead. Now him and Dawkins going one-on-one. With the Hurt Business, with the MVPs at ringside. And Aleister Black picking up the win with a Black Mass to Dawkins once more for an 82. Great match between these two. 81 for Black, 62 Dawkins. Really happy with this. Aleister Black picking up the victory over Dawkins after the match. Black demanding Lashley come in the ring. He wants Lashley. He's wanted Lashley. Lashley climbs up onto the apron. Looks like he's going to get in the ring, but MVP stopping him, saying, no, not here, not now. We don't do it like this. Lashley looking at Black, not looking happily, but getting down. The MVP starts all the way for an 83, except Ricochet. Ricochet stays still, staring at Black. Black slowly moves his eyes down to Ricochet. Ricochet gets in the ring and goes face to face with Aleister Black. They stare down. These two have had great matches in the past, and of course, former tag team. They fought for the tag titles at WrestleMania in the past. Black and Ricochet staring off. MVP charging back into the ring and dragging Ricochet away in the end. Him and Aleister Black's eyes transfixed on each other for an 85 here. Good work from everyone here. Aleister Black wants Lashley. Still hasn't got him, but it looks like he may have Ricochet next. We have a little promo video for the Raw matches at Armageddon. You know, the WarGames, Women's World Title, Hardcore Fatal 5-Way. A lot of really good Raw. Not as many matches at Armageddon as SmackDown, but I mean, the quality of them can't be denied. And with the WarGames match, time-wise, they'll be very similar in length anyway. 482, Adam Cole coming down to the ring for the main event afterwards, waiting to see who he will face in this WarGames Survivor ladder match. And out comes Kevin Owens, because of course he does. Kevin Owens wants Adam Cole. He's made that very clear. He had him one-on-one 3 weeks ago, ending in DQ, but getting him one-on-one here in a no DQ match for a 90. Adam Cole, Kevin Owens in a WarGames Advantage ladder match. In the end, both teams end up coming out to the ring and brawling, providing a big distraction. Adam Cole at the top of the ladder, getting distracted by brawling ringside, not noticing Kevin Owens quickly climb to the top. Adam Cole turning around into Owens, who waves at him before punching him in the face. Adam Cole flying off the ladder to the mat, and Kevin Owens pulls down the contract for the WarGames Advantage. Your winner, Kevin Owens, here for a 99. So close to the 100 from these two. I mean, I think Kevin Owens, to be honest with you, they're a rivalry of the year in my opinion. Brilliant from these two. Highest rated match I've saved so far, I'm pretty sure. One off the perfect 100. So close, but still amazing nonetheless. Kevin Owens wins the advantage for his team. 94 for Cole, 91 for Owens. Both superstars doing incredible. And then after the match, the Undisputed are helping Adam Cole up the ring and going up the ramp. Not happy as Owens, Ford, Zayn and Bryan celebrate in the ring. They have won the advantage at WarGames for an 88 here. Really good post-match segment to end things after that brilliant main event. The go-home episode of Raw heading into Armageddon here gets a 93. Amazing. 93 maybe a little bit low considering the 99 main event. I'll assume that 88 post-match segment brought it down, but I won't complain too much because I'm just really, really happy with that main event now. Increased up hop in 35 regions. Incredible work. What an episode of Raw heading into Armageddon. The final Raw of the year. Brilliant. And hopefully, as we have the go-home show heading into NXT Takeover WarGames, we can have another high rating to end the year with the final episode of 2021 of NXT. And NXT getting underway here with the first of two WarGames Advantage ladder matches. First of all, for the men's WarGames match, the 3v3v3, we have Dominic Mysterio representing the team of the Mysterios and Cesaro, Humberto Carrillo representing Legado, and making his in-ring debut, Trey Griffin represents MSK. And in the end here, it's Trey Griffin who retrieved the item. Trey Griffin winning the ladder match and the advantage for MSK. Between Legado and the Mysterios and Cesaro, they'll be randomly selected who gets second and who gets the disadvantage, I suppose, of coming last. But MSK with the win here. Trey Griffin, good performance, 56 for the match, happy enough with that. 66 Humberto, 37 Trey, 34 Dominic. Yeah, that's done okay, you know, three guys, didn't expect the best from these guys, but done alright nonetheless, as Trey Griffin does get the win here, as MSK celebrates their victory. Legado not happy for the 69. Then we go backstage to Indy Hartwell and Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi Blackheart in her locker room, Indy Hartwell knocking the door and coming in, and Indy thanking Shotzi for last week. Nikki James last week attacking Indy Hartwell, and Shotzi making the save for Hartwell, despite the fact, you know, these past few weeks Hartwell aligned with James, attacking Shotzi. You know, Shotzi made the save nonetheless. Indy saying thank you, apologising for her actions the past few weeks, you know. And Shotzi says that it wasn't about saving Indy, it was just about stopping James, because she knows James is the one behind all of this. You know, she says that her and Indy, you know, will probably never be friends, but she wasn't just going to stand by and let James attack someone like that for a 64 here. Happy with this, you know, maybe no friendship between these two, but still, Indy apologising and saying thank you. Pleased with this segment here. As next up we have a tag team match. It is Eli Cassidy and Marcus Reddin, part of the faction now known as D4G, destined for greatness. Marcus Reddin, Eli Cassidy, and the NXT North American Champion Carmelo Hayes. And they are taking on Isaiah Swerve Scott and the Velveteen Dream here. And in the end, destined for greatness, picking up the win by disqualification after Dexter Lumis got involved, locking him in his submission hold and just kind of choking him out till Cassidy is out of it. Scott and Dream taking the loss here, but, you know, just by DQ. 76 for the match, really good match. 82 Dream, 65 Scott, 62 Reddin, 55 Cassidy. Happy with this. A good debut from Cassidy as well, his first match. After the match, Hayes getting in the ring and trying to stop Dexter Lumis from attacking Cassidy, you know, kicking him and punching. Dexter Lumis not affected though, letting go of Cassidy, getting to his feet, turning and slowly walking towards Hayes. Hayes backing up and backing into a surprise of a super kick from Velveteen Dream, laying him out as well. As this segment here ends with Dream standing tall over Hayes, heading into the pair's NXT North American Championship match at WarGames. Will it be the same scene at the end of their title match with Dream standing tall, or will Carmelo Hayes retain? We'll have to wait to see. 64 for the post-match segment though, pretty decent. As then we go backstage and we have Tegan Nox and Candice LeRae talking about WarGames, talking about how they need a fourth member for their team, and Becky Lynch walks in and they say, where has she been? You know, they need to talk about who's going to be the fourth, and Becky Lynch saying she was just picking someone up, and she says not to worry because she's got the fourth member. She's got backup in the form of Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair will be the fourth member of this team at WarGames. Becky Lynch, Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox and Charlotte Flair. Pretty banging WarGames team, to be honest. 83 for that segment and that big announcement. Who will Raquel Gonzalez choose for her team? We'll find out later tonight. But next up we have a big match here. Damian Priest taking on Randy Orton. But in the end, the match ending in chaos as Damian Priest attacked by Karrion Kross. Orton, distracted by that, gets attacked by Thatcher. 81 for the match, 80 for Orton, 66 Priest. Really happy, you know, not surprised. These two both very good. But the match ending in anarchy. Priest brawling with Kross and Orton brawling with Thatcher, heading into these pairings, big respective matches at WarGames as well. Priest, Kross, Orton, Thatcher, two hard-hitting matches taking place at WarGames. Will be interesting to see who comes out on top on those. 89 for the post-match though is very promising though. Very happy with this. High hopes for those matches. As then we have a little promo video for WarGames, you know, just going over some of the matches. you know, featuring likes of Gable, Rollins, Andrade, Cesaro, Gonzalez, Lynch, Orton, Cross. We'll go over the full card in more detail at the end of the video, along with the Armageddon card, of course, as usual. 89 for that segment, though, is brilliant, as then we get ready for the Women's WarGames Advantage ladder match. Lynch, Flair, Knox, and LeRae coming out, and Lynch announcing she'll represent her team in the ladder match. Her team staying at ringside as Gonzalez comes out onto the ramp and announces her team, featuring Mickie James and the Women's Tag Team Champions Naomi and Nia Jax. Raquel Gonzalez getting the experience of Mickie James, you know, Mickie James clashing with Candice LeRae. They've had their issues in the recent past, as well as bringing in the Women's Tag Champs, the Bloodline members, Naomi and Nia Jax, who have had their problems respectively with Candice LeRae as well as Charlotte Flair over on SmackDown. A lot of stories playing into this WarGames match. Hopefully it will be really good. It will be Naomi representing Team Gonzalez in this WarGames Advantage ladder match. 74 for the reveal. And then in the main event, Becky Lynch versus Naomi. And in the end, Naomi gets the win, retrieving the briefcase and winning Team Gonzalez the WarGames Advantage for an 86. Brilliant match between these two. 82 for Lynch, 70 for Naomi. Very, very happy with this. Naomi coming out on top, as then Team Gonzalez celebrate winning the WarGames Advantage. Lynch, LeRae, Flair, Knox. The odds stacked even more against them now, but they're going to give it everything they've got. Gonzalez assembling a super team here. You know, the experience of James, the tag champs, but never bet against Lynch, Flair, Knox, or LeRae respectively, and especially not together. Hopefully, both of these WarGames matches, as well as the Armageddon WarGames match going on, be very, very good. 83 for that. Before we had the final segment of the night, out comes Seth Rollins for an 87, followed, of course, by the NXT champion Chad Gable for an 88. They sit across the table and they go back and forth. Seth Rollins asking Chad Gable how it feels to know that he fought so hard and he fought so long and he trained all his life for that moment at Survivor Series, winning the NXT title, black and gold confetti raining down from the ceiling, his moment. How does it feel to know that that title will not be his come Saturday? To know that just 1 month after winning it, you're going to lose that title already. And Chad Gable saying that's not the case, saying that he put his blood, sweat and tears into this. He put everything he had into this. And he's not giving it up yet, saying that Rollins can come at him, he can say what he wants. He knows Rollins likes to run his mouth, and that's fine. But he knows that even in the ring, Rollins is great. But Chad Gable says that he is better. Says he has trained every day of his life for this. To be the champion, to be the top guy, to be the flag bearer for WWE, for NXT, for whoever. And this is what he is now. The flag bearer, the top dog. He knows everyone's coming for him. He knows everyone wants this title. He knows he has to give everything he's got to this, and that's what he's going to do. And that's why, come WarGames, Gable says he will be leaving NXT champion. He will be leaving with this title still around his waist, because Rollins is amazing. Rollins is incredible. Rollins, former Universal, former WWE, Royal Rumble winner, Money in the Bank winner, inaugural NXT champion, such a list of accolades, but he will not be adding two-time NXT champion to that list, because this is Chad Gable's time for an 89 here. Both men signing the contract before the table gets moved and the two men staring down. They're still talking, still going at each other. Rollins shoving Gable, the two men getting into a brawl. Scary trying to separate them, but they can't. And in the end, Chad Gable getting put through the table by Rollins. Seth Rollins standing tall to end this contract signing for a 90. Good ending to the show, good main event, and the contract signing segment for the NXT title, very good as well. Very, very happy with this. Overall, NXT, the Go Home show, getting an 87. Very, very good episode of NXT. Very pleased with this. Things going really well. NXT Takeover WarGames has a stacked card, and hopefully it can get some high ratings as well. Once again, we'll go over the full card for it at the end of the video after SmackDown. And speaking of it, it's time for the final show of 2021 in the save here. It's time for the final show in the build-up to Armageddon. Yes, it's time for a special edition. It's time for Super SmackDown. And then the Super SmackDown special gets underway with John Cena coming out and calling out Roman Reigns. I've written down John Cena, but you know, John Cena can't call out John Cena. He calls out Roman Reigns for the 82, and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns answers and makes his way down to the ring for an 83. And John Cena says that he said at the start of December he didn't know who was next. He said that the 17th was next, but that's got to move to the back of his mind for now, because what's next is beating Roman Reigns' ass. He says that when he took time off, when he stepped back from WWE, people said Roman Reigns was next. Roman Reigns, the face of WWE. Roman Reigns, the new John Cena. But Roman Reigns has never, could never, and will never be the new John Cena. John Cena's one of a kind. Roman Reigns, he's just a cheap imitation. Roman Reigns can't go toe-to-toe on the mic or in the ring with John Cena at the end of the day. Whether it be that old Roman Reigns or this new one, tribal chief, big dog, it don't matter. What do the people say? Oh yeah, come Armageddon, John Cena wins, lol. It's that simple. Roman Reigns kind of laughing and saying that they've met once, one-on-one. One time, battleground, and Roman Reigns won. You see, that's funny. John Cena says that Roman Reigns is a cheap imitation, but at the end of the day, that was Roman Reigns version 1. That was a Roman Reigns nowhere near as strong or as talented as the Roman Reigns standing before you now. And that Roman Reigns kicked John Cena's ass. So what is this Roman Reigns gonna do, huh? Roman Reigns says this is all John Cena's doing. He says that Cena could have just stayed in Hollywood. Hell, he could have come back to WWE. That's what he really wanted. He could have gone to Raw. Could have beat Adam Cole. One number 17. John Cena. The greatest of all time, they'd say. He could have been happy there, couldn't he? But no, John Cena had to come to SmackDown. John Cena had to get into the Bloodlines business. The Tribal Chiefs business. And so what happens from here, what happens at Armageddon, that is on John Cena. Reigns says that Cena talks about 17 times still, but when Roman Reigns is done with Cena, there'll be no 17. Because John Cena will be lucky if he steps in the ring again. Roman Reigns says he's going to beat John Cena bloody at Armageddon. He says Armageddon, they say the end of the world. Well, Armageddon's the end of your career. Roman Reigns promises he's going to smash him, he's going to stack him, and he's going to pin him. Because come Armageddon, John Cena does not win. John Cena ends. For a 91, they both signed the contract. A huge match for Armageddon. John Cena, Roman Reigns. A main event worthy match, but there are so many of them at Armageddon. I mean, Armageddon, a stacked card for the end of the year. Really looking forward to it. Looking forward to this match. Hopefully it'll be really good. 91 for that once again. Really pleased. As next up, we have the first match on this Super SmackDown special. Bronson Reed against Robert Roode. Bronson Reed has beat Dolph Ziggler and he's beat James Storm. But can he beat the final member of the Dirty Dogs? The Dirty Dogs keep getting in Reed's business, but can he deal with them once and for all? He does. Bronson Reed pinning Robert Roode following the tsunami for an 80. Really good match once again. Bronson Reed doing amazing on SmackDown. 72 for Reed, 70 for Roode. Really happy with that. After the match, James Storm and Dolph Ziggler try to attack Reed, but at this point Bronson Reed, expecting the attack from the Dirty Dogs, fights off Storm and Ziggler, takes them both down, stacks them both on top of the Roode, and then hits a tsunami off the top rope onto all three of them. Completely take him out. Bronson Reed finally dealing with the Dirty Dogs here for a 67. Really pleased with this. A good introductory feud on SmackDown for Bronson Reed I wanted, and the Dirty Dogs have definitely provided that. Very happy. As next up, we have announcement later tonight will be Spanish Fly versus The New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. At Armageddon, Kofi Kingston and Xavier would go head to head for the US title, but days before that battle, will they be able to earn some gold prior when they fight for the SmackDown Tag titles? A 62 for that announcement. Hopefully a good match between those two teams. Speaking of tag matches, we have one next up, but instead of 2v2, it is 4v4. It is the team of the Women's Universal Champion Shayna Baszler, No Mercy teammate Tainara Conti, the $1 Million Champion Deonna Purrazzo, and her squad mate Aaliyah, taking on Shayna's contender Rhea Ripley, Mia Yim, Deonna Purrazzo's contender Doudrop, and Asuka. And in the end, the faces pick up the win. Asuka pinning Tainara Conti after hitting her with a spin kick after a chaotic ending as you'd expect in a 4v4 match. 74 though, really good rating for this. 78 Asuka, 75 Ripley, 73 Shayna, 72 Deonna, 50 Tainara, 49 Doudrop, 43 Aaliyah, 40 Mia Yim. Everyone doing quite good here. Happy with this. The faces get the win, and then afterwards more chaos ensues. Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville get in the ring and attack Asuka. Rhea Ripley gets involved to stop them. Doudrop gets involved. Deonna and her group try and get involved, but they all manage to fight them off in the end. The faces standing tall. Asuka, Ripley and Doudrop in the ring together. Standing tall. Will this be the scene come Armageddon? Will Ripley get her Women's Universal Gold back from Baszler? Can Doudrop dethrone Deonna? We will have to find out though. 69 for this segment. Happy with that. As next up, we have a handicap match. Samoa Joe taking on Ace Austin and King Corbin. Joe defeating Ace Austin in his SmackDown debut at the beginning of December. And then after that, in the Triple Threat US Contenders match, King Corbin costing him it. Fought Corbin last week, but winning by DQ following Ace Austin hitting him from behind. But now getting his hands on Ace Austin and King Corbin at the same time in a handicap match here. In the end, Samoa Joe picking up the win. Samoa Joe getting Ace Austin and King Corbin set up in the corner, lifting them both up at the same time and hitting a double muscle buster to them before pinning Ace Austin for the win. A big win for Samoa Joe. A big statement as well with that double muscle buster, showing off his strength. 78 here. Very happy with that. 71 Joe, 63 Corbin, 60 Austin. Great work. Great match. Samoa Joe, very, like Reed, doing well in his introductory feud here on SmackDown. And afterwards, Samoa Joe standing tall over Austin and Corbin after finally dealing with the pair once and for all for a 73. As next up, we have that earlier announced SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. It is Bullard brand members Spanish Fly, Alfonso Bourbon and Socrates Torres defending their gold against the New Day's Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Woods and Kingston fighting for the US title Armageddon, teaming tonight in the Endo. Kingston tagging in Woods. Woods going at it for a good 5-8 minutes, wanting to tag Kingston, and Kingston not on the apron, down on the outside, you know, holding his leg, still a bit hurt from Spanish Fly's attack last week. Woods unable to make the tag, and in the end allowing Spanish Fly to hit him with the Spanish Siesta and pick up the win to retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Decent match here, 67 for the segment, but the very disappointing and saddening thing here is Alfonso Bourbon sustained a complete UCL tear. Oh, boy, oh boy. Oh god. I'd say I hope he doesn't have to relinquish his title, but a complete UCL tear doesn't sound like a minor injury now, does it? Oh god, I'll have to check on that after. Match-wise though, 82 for Torres, incredible performance from him. 74 Woods, 77 Kingston, 50 Bourbon. Spanish Fly retain, but how long will they have those titles will definitely depend on how Bourbon's doing with that injury. Then we go backstage, Gargano being interviewed by Braxton. Kayla Braxton asked Gargano how he feels about Armageddon, knowing that, seeing as he's been drafted to Raw, if he loses to Apollo Crews, that this could end up being his last opportunity to become Intercontinental Champion. And Gargano says he realizes that, but he says that he's going to give this all he's got. Johnny Gargano, Johnny freaking Wrestling. That's what he is. He is Johnny Wrestling. And he's going to go to Armageddon, and that's who's going to be there. Johnny Wrestling's going to be there, fighting for the Apollo Crews, fighting for the Intercontinental title, and Johnny Wrestling is going to leave with that belt. He's going to take it to Raw. He's going to defend it. He's going to hold it, because Johnny Gargano is Intercontinental Championship material. This is Johnny's time, and he's going to take it for a 79 here. Good promo from Gargano. Happy with this. I feel like this whole show's had a dampener from that injury now, though. This is not a not-so-super SmackDown following that. But anyway, into the main event. Keith Lee taking on LA Knight. It's been bubbling, it's been building. Keith Lee going one-on-one with a Bullard brand member now. And Keith Lee picking up the win with a big bang catastrophe for a 79. Good match, happy with this. 86 Lee, 61 Knight. Keith Lee finally beating with Knight, dealing with him once and for all here. Not a good night for the Bullard brand, is it? Knight defeated, Spanish Fly retained, but Bourbon injured. But what can you do? Speaking of the Bullard Brando, it's time for the Universal Championship contract signing. Big E, the challenger, comes out for a 91 first, followed by the champion, Thaddeus Bullard, accompanied by Paul Heyman, of course, for an 87. And they go back and forth. Big E says that he knows he's going to win. He would have won at Survivor Series if it wasn't for that masked gut thug. And he's going to win at Armageddon. He's going to get the Universal Championship back, and there's nothing Bullard can do about it. And Bullard says no. Bullard says he's waited too damn long and worked too damn hard to get here to give it up now. He says he doesn't know who attacked Big E, and he doesn't care. Because it makes no difference. I would have beat you at Survivor Series. I'm going to beat you at Armageddon. You, Big E, you talk about struggle. You talk about being held down by the man, never getting your chance. What about me? What about me being made a joke, being made a laughing stock? Expected to be grateful for an opportunity at the 24/7 title? No. You complained. I took action. I changed my identity. I became who I'm meant to be. I took charge. I took that 24/7 title. I threw it in the trash. I won the Intercontinental title. I held that for a year. I would have held it for the rest of my life if it wasn't for this Universal Championship I hold in my arms now. So don't come to me, Big E, and talk about struggle. Don't come and talk about opportunity. Talk about being screwed when I got screwed my whole life. But now is my moment, and I am not giving it up. Bullard and Big E both signing the contract, and after signing the contract, Big E and Bullard standing up, the table being moved for a stare down, but Bullard having no time for it, standing up, grabbing his championship, and immediately leaving the ring. Not even going to wait for this to potentially come to blows. Bullard waiting for Armageddon for this confrontation with Big E. A huge match at Armageddon. Armageddon, a stacked card. 83 for that segment. SmackDown here. Super SmackDown, getting an 84. You know, not the highest rating to end the year, but it would have been higher, I feel, if it wasn't for that injury, maybe. But still, a good end to the year nonetheless. I am happy as we are ready for the final pay-per-views of the years. And the cards, I'll just run through the cards for you now. At NXT Takeover WarGames, we have Damian Priest taking on Karrion Kross. Randy Orton faces Timothy Thatcher. The NXT North American title is on the line when Carmelo Hayes defends against the Velveteen Dream. Chad Gable defends his NXT Championship against the inaugural champion Seth Rollins. Can Gable retain, or will Rollins become a two-time champ? It is officially WarGames as Legado, the Cruiserweight Champion Andrade, and Cruiserweight Tag Team Champs Humberto Carrillo and Santos Escobar face the consequences of their actions. They've been pissing a lot of people off, and now they'll face them in WarGames against MSK, who have the advantage, as well as Rey and Dominic Mysterio and Cesaro. And in the other WarGames match, the NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez and her super team of the Women's Tag Team Champions, the Bloodline, Naomi and Nia Jax and Mickie James, take on Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. A stacked card for TakeOver WarGames. High hopes for that, and somehow even higher hopes for Armageddon, where the vacant United States Championship will be on the line as Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, New Day brothers, fight for the championship. Who will win the gold? Apollo Crews defends his Intercontinental Championship against Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano, having been drafted to Raw, if he loses this, it could be his last opportunity at the Intercontinental title. But if he wins it, he could be taking that title to Raw, and Apollo Crews could be missing out on getting a chance at it. And in a big fatal five-way match for the Hardcore title, Tommaso Ciampa defends his gold against one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Drew McIntyre, the other half, Sheamus, as well as Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, in what is sure to be an absolutely brutal match for the championship. Shayna Baszler defends her Women's Universal title against former champion Rhea Ripley. Can Ripley win back the gold, or will Baszler stop her again, especially with No Mercy fully reformed, and you'd expect Conti and Deville both at ringside? Sasha Banks defends her Women's World Championship against Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss had a great time thing since returning to Raw in the draft, but Banks has been in the form of her life towards the end of the year. Who will come out on top? In a huge encounter that could be the main event of any show really, John Cena takes on Roman Reigns, the 16-time champ versus the Tribal Chief. Who will come out on top? The Universal Championship up for grab when Big E looks to win back his title against the new champ Thaddeus Bullard. They've been warring for a while, but who will come out on top at Armageddon? And in the main event of Armageddon, it is WarGames. We have the 21st Century WarGames specialists in the Undisputed Era, WWE Champion Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong, taking on the super team of Kevin Owens, Montez Ford, Sami Zayn, and Daniel Bryan. Incredibly high hopes for that match. 8 incredible competitors going at it in WarGames. Owens, Bryan, Ford, and Zayn have the advantage, but who will come out on top? 2 stacked cards to look forward to in the next episode. I hope you are. If you are, then leave a like and subscribe to the channel to see when that video is up, and for more updates on this series and more TEW 2020 content in general. And thank you for watching.